A team is a type of organizational group that's comprised of members who are interdependent, share common goals, and must coordinate their activities to accomplish those goals. Team members must work collectively to achieve their goals. The study of organizational teams has focused on strategies for maintaining a competitive advantage. Team based organizations have a faster response capacity because of their flatter organizational structures, which rely on teams and new technology to enable communication across time and space. These newer organizational structures have been referred to as a team based and technology enabled. The organizational team based structure is an important way for organizations to remain competitive by responding quickly and adapting to constant and rapid changes. Effective organizational teams lead to many desirable outcomes like greater productivity, more effective use of resources, better decisions and problem solving, better quality products and services, and greater innovation and creativity. However, for teams to be successful, the organizational culture needs to support member involvement. The traditional authority structure of many organizations does not support decision making at lower levels, and this can lead to failure of many teams. Teamwork is an example of lateral decision making as opposed to the traditional vertical decision making that occurs in the organizational hierarchy based on rank or position in the organization. Leadership of teams has also become an important area of study. The ideas of team leadership are quite different from leadership within the organization's vertical structure. Many theories of leadership, such as situational and transformational, can be applied to a team setting. However, team leadership is unique in terms of leadership and is very process oriented. The complexities of team processes demand the attention and focus of all members of the team. Some teams are autonomous and self directed with no formal leader. But even when there is a formal leader, the team will benefit from shared leadership among team members. Shared leadership, while very important, does involve risk, and it takes some courage for the member who steps forward to provide leadership outside the formal role of team leader. Risks aside, teams with shared leadership have less conflict, are more conscientious, have more trust, and more cohesion than teams that do not have shared leadership. In general, teams are more effective when there's shared leadership. The Hill model for team leadership is based on the functional leadership claim that the leader's job is to monitor the team and then take whatever action is necessary to ensure team effectiveness. The model provides a tool for understanding a very complex phenomenon of team leadership, starting at the top, in which its initial leadership decisions and moving into leadership action, and finally focusing on the indicators of team effectiveness. In addition, the model suggests specific actions that leaders can perform to improve team effectiveness. Effective team leaders need a wide repertoire of communication skills to monitor and take appropriate action. Effective team performance begins with how the leader sees the situation the team is experiencing. To respond appropriately to the problem envisioned in the mental model, a good team leader needs to be behaviorally flexible and have a wide repertoire of actions or skills to meet the team's diverse needs. Leadership behavior is seen as a team based problem solving by analyzing the internal and external situation and then selecting and implementing the appropriate behaviors to ensure team effectiveness. Given the complexity of team functioning, such shared leadership can, and in fact does, lead to greater team effectiveness. Two critical functions of team effectiveness are performance, task accomplishment, and development, team maintenance. Development refers to the cohesiveness of a team and the ability of team members to satisfy their own needs while working effectively with other team members. It's helpful if team leaders understand the conditions that contribute to or enable team excellence. A compelling purpose energizes team members, orients them towards their collective objective, and fully engages their talents. Teams need to find the best structure for accomplishing their goals. Structural features that lead to effective teamwork include task design, team composition, and core norms of conduct. Teams should be comprised of the right number and mix of members to accomplish all the tasks of the team. In addition, members need sufficient information, education, and training to become or remain competent team members. A common mistake is to call a work group a team, but treat it as a collection of individuals. The ability of a team to collaborate or work well together is essential to team effectiveness. Clear norms of conduct, how we should behave, are important for team functioning. A supportive organizational context includes material resources, rewards for excellent performance, an educational system to develop necessary team skills, and an information system to provide data needed to accomplish the task. Effective team leadership has been found consistently to relate to team effectiveness. Effective team members are committed to the team's goals and give members autonomy to unleash their talents when possible. The leadership of a team can use these 8 characteristics of team excellence to assess the health of the team and to take appropriate action to address any weaknesses. Leadership decisions include the major decisions the team's leadership needs to make when determining whether and how to intervene to improve team functioning. The first of these decisions is whether it's most appropriate to continue to observe and monitor the team or to intervene in the team's activities and to take action. The second decision is to choose whether a task or relational intervention is needed. The final decision is whether to intervene at the internal level within the team itself or the external level in the team's environment. Leadership Decision 1. Should I monitor or take action? The first decision confronting the team's leadership is to whether to keep observing the team or to take action to help the team. All members of the team can engage in monitoring, information search and structuring, and collectively provide distributed or shared leadership to help the team adapt to changing conditions. Leadership Decision 2. Should I intervene to meet the task or relational needs? Superior team leadership focuses consistently on both task and maintenance functions. Both types of leadership behaviors have been focused and found to be related to perceived team effectiveness. Leadership Decision 3. Should I intervene internally or externally? If a decision was made to take action or to intervene, the leader must determine what level of the team process needs leadership attention, internal leadership actions, or external leadership actions. The current focus of research is on real-life organizational work teams that exist within a larger organizational environment. In addition to balancing the internal task of relational needs of the team, the leader has to help the team adapt and function effectively in its environment. Most teams focus on the internal problems of the team. It's up to the leader to assess what action, if any, is needed and then intervene with the specific leadership function to meet the demands of the situation. The leader needs the ability to perform these skills and to make strategic choice as the most appropriate function or skill for the intervention. To be an effective leader, one needs to respond with the action that is required of the situation. Thus, if it's the job of the leader to analyze and mediate the situation to make the best decisions for the good of the team, a detailed knowledge of group dynamics and interpersonal process is key to effective team leadership. A team leader also needs to recognize and interpret what's going on and getting in the way of the team's goal accomplishment and then make a strategic choice and respond with appropriate action. Team leadership is complex. There's no simple recipe for team success. Team leaders must learn to be open and objective in understanding and diagnosing team problems and skillful in selecting the most appropriate actions or inactions to help achieve the team's goal. It is important to emphasize that these critical functions need to be carried out not only by the leader. If the team members are taking care of most of the needs, then the leader has to do very little. The model portrays leadership as a team oversight function in which the leader's role is to do whatever is necessary to help the team achieve effectiveness. The model provides the leader with a cognitive map for identifying team needs and offers suggestions about how to take appropriate and corrective action. The model helps the leader to make sense of the complexity of teams and offers practical suggestions based on the theory of research. In using the model, the team leadership engages in leader mediation process by deciding which option is most appropriate for the team, monitoring or taking action. If monitoring reveals that all aspects of the team functioning are satisfactory, then the leadership should not take any direct action but continue to monitor the internal and external environments in teams of team performance and development. If monitoring reveals that action is needed, on the other hand, then leadership needs to decide whether to take internal level action or external level action or both. Finally, the leadership decides which action is appropriate to meet the needs of the team. Determining the exact intervention is not as easy as it sounds, however, and it clearly reflects the skills necessary for team leadership. In any case, the leader can decide to keep monitoring the situation or not take any immediate action because of the group's phase of development. Or the leader can decide at which level to intervene and then decide the extent to which the most appropriate leadership function and at what level. The team leadership model aids in team analysis and improvement, much like sports teams. By comparing their own teams with established standards or criteria of team excellence, leaders can determine the areas of greatest weakness that might need critical intervention. One of the strengths of the model is that it's designed to focus on real life organizational work groups and the leadership needed therein. The model places the ongoing work group or team in an environmental context within the organization, industry, or society. In addition, the real life focus on the performance of team effectiveness enables leaders and members to diagnose and correct team problems. A second strength of the model is that it provides the cognitive guide and helps leaders to design and maintain effective teams, especially when performance is below standards. Another strength of the model is that it takes into account the challenging role of leaders and followers in organizations known as shared leadership. The model does not focus on the position of power of the leader, but instead focuses on the critical functions of leadership as diagnosis and action taking. In addition, this approach to team leadership can help in the selection of team members. Good leaders not only can diagnose the team's problems, but also can reach into their bag of tricks and pull out the appropriate action or actions for the team. The Hill model for team leadership is a conceptual framework to assist team based leadership in its decision making. As such, it lists only some of the many skills that leadership might need to employ in making such decisions. Even though the model does not include all possible leadership skills, it's still quite complex. Team leaders need to spend time adjusting to the framework so that it comes naturally to them when decisions are needed. This framework also does not provide on the spot answers to specific problems facing the team leader. To make matters worse, many teams have shared leadership, necessitating that everyone who provides team leadership has a wide range of team oriented skills. In addition, the roles of leaders and followers can change over time, making it very important for the team leader and team members to possess requisite leadership skills. Instruction in teamwork and team leadership needs to focus on team diagnosing and action taking so that team leadership skills can be developed throughout the team and be more easily implemented. There are many ways to apply the team leadership model to increase the effectiveness of organizational teams. This model is useful in helping the leader to make decisions like should I act, and if so, how do I do it? Research suggests that team leaders overestimate their effectiveness in the dimensions of the team leadership model and score themselves much higher than do team members. By comparing the scores of leaders by members, the leader, along with team members, can determine which dimensions of team leadership effectiveness need to be improved. The team and the leader can then prepare action plans to correct highest priority problems. Such an assessment approach is very helpful in monitoring and diagnosing team problems. It aids in determining the complex factors affecting team effectiveness to build a committed team involved in action planning. The increased importance in organizational teams and the leadership needed for them has produced a growing interest in team leadership theory. The team leadership model provides a framework in which to study the systematic factors that contribute to a team's outcomes or general effectiveness. Within this approach, the critical function of leadership is to help the team accomplish its goals by monitoring and diagnosing the team and taking the requisite action. A strategic decision model has been developed to reveal various decisions team leaders must make to improve their team's effectiveness. The model describes these decisions: what type of intervention should be used, monitoring, or action taking, at what level should the intervention be targeted, internal or external, and what leadership function should be implemented to improve team functioning. Questionnaires filled out by team members and the team leader can aid in diagnosing specific areas of team problems and suggest action steps to be taken by the team. The strength of this approach is that it has a practical focus on real life organizational teams and their effectiveness. The model also emphasizes the functions of leadership that can be shared or distributed within the work team. The model offers guidance in selecting leaders and team members with appropriate diagnostic and action taking skills. Furthermore, the model is appropriately complex, providing a cognitive model for understanding and improving organizational teams.